What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 69 of the Game Board Podcast, which normally posts to iTunes every Tuesday and YouTube every Wednesday. But because yesterday was the 4th of July, we are doing a little bit a day late, but understandable. 4th of July, people are celebrating, and rightfully so. So yeah, we're doing this on a Tuesday instead. So it'll post to iTunes tomorrow and YouTube likely either tomorrow or Thursday. That should be on schedule. Joining me this week is a young blood and a wily veteran, joined by Thomas.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Tired, but it's no complaints here. It's another day.
I think on the games on tap, I was referred to as New Blood.
New blood. Well,
New
you
Blood.
were broken in on games on tap. So yeah, Thomas was on the last. Was it the last episode or the episode before?
I was on episode 4.
Okay, so, yeah, it was on the episode before the last one. I wasn't on it, but yeah, he was on that with. I think Jason, you were on that too.
Yep.
So yeah, broke him in through there, and now he's going to be on a not more serious, but a more formal podcast.
Brought
And
my suit with me.
there you go. He's fresh cleaned at the store and everything. He's good to go. I'm wearing mine right now. It looks spiffy. Looks nice. Also joining us is Jason.
Hey, how's
How
it
are
going?
you? I'm well. How are you, sir?
Going through some pretty big storms here, so apologize if you hear some booms, but that'll just go with the news boom. So
Yeah, there we go. A new storm collides with the perfect storm going on outside. We go
yeah,
boom, then you hear like a lightning strike. Holy crap! Oh my god, that's perfect singing. And I'm your host, Brett. Grant cannot make it tonight, but I will be replacing him. And little does Grant know that Thomas is a massive Final Fantasy 14 fan. So, Jason, you can just sit back for like an hour.
yeah.
This is the Final Fantasy podcast. No, totally kidding, totally kidding. I would love to, but no, that would not happen.
How's your anima weapon coming, Brett?
It's rough. I just got to step 3. I'll get to that in the now playing section. Excuse me. So yeah, again, this is the official podcast of thegamebull.com, which is going to post to iTunes on Wednesday and YouTube either tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. And of course, the usual gist, opening stuff, and all that. So let's get down to what we're playing. Jason, what are you playing?
I've been playing quite a bit of Odin Sphere.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and I know you've been playing this too, haven't you, Brett?
I haven't played it in a few weeks. It's been a good probably like a week or two, I would say. I've been playing it in like very small bites, like probably like 30 minutes at a time. Loving the combat. It's a lot of fun. I'm playing it on Vita, and it's confusing at first because like I played it and it's like, oh, these are your skills. Like, this is how you use it. And I was, I spent like a few days off of it, and I came back and I was like, how the hell do I pull up my skills? Because like it's just one of the things like you totally forget. I'm like,
Yeah.
where are my skills? I don't know where they are. I don't know how to pull them up. And I kept like pressing every button, and then I think I think it's L or something on the Vita, and I'm like, yes, finally, like I'm right back to where I was. I'm good to go now. So now I remember it. It's a lot of fun. The battle stages. It's if you've played Muramasa Rebirth through the Demon Blade. It's more close to that than it is something like Dragon's Crown, which
Right.
I mean, it's still similar to Dragon's Crown. Like it's kind of like a beat 'em up and RPG and all that stuff, and it's fun, but it's more similar to Muramasa and all that. But it's great.
Yeah, for sure. I was just so excited that it came to PS4 because I had it on PS2, and I bought a PS3 in 2007 after the price drop, and that's like the same year this game came out on PS2.
Okay,
So I never finished it. I probably got like halfway through it, and
right.
sold it with my PS2, and I was like, oh man, it was sort of like when you said you sold like Nino Kuni. like on PS3 back then when you got your PS4, and it was the same feeling. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh man, like I really wanted to finish
I
that,
could
but
just have it for like 2 more weeks, and, just for that, and yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly what you mean.
yeah.
Thanks for
So
stopping by the way, John. How are you, sir?
yeah,
Uh,
so I was pretty excited that it came to PS4. I was like, sweet, I get to finish it now. So like the whole last like 3 4 weeks, however long it's been out, I picked it up like a day after it came out, and I just platinumed it on
oh,
July
nice.
4th. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, same here. I love the combat. It's really crazy, like the way like half the skills are kind of like hidden throughout the stages, and you can find them, and like some of the best skills throughout the game are hidden
Yeah,
within
yeah.
behind like invisible walls and
Because you could like because like they'll give you a map, and you get to the next area, and it kind of reveals the rest of the map, or the next two sections, and it's like, oh, like it tells you this is going to be a battle stage, or this stage will have treasure, and then sometimes like, okay, well, this stage will have some kind of special item, like a new like backpack or something that increases the amount of stuff you can carry, or I forget what they're called. I forget what like the crystals are called, but it
oh
will have that too.
bosons.
Bosons.
Yeah,
Okay, so it would have like phosons. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drop everything and go that path so I can get that phoson.
yeah, yeah. I love that, and I'm like the type of person that like when there's a collectible like that, I have to get them all. And so
Yeah, yeah.
that's the
It's
reason I
like
platinumed it.
it's
Is
so
like
much more valuable than say like a treasure chest which has some money and like a potion. It's like, well, you're getting a new skill entirely, and this skill might be really awesome.
yeah, yeah. I love the level up system too. It's so weird. Like
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's the
different.
only RPG I know of where you eat food to gain experience,
Yeah.
and like you can combine different foods to get different meals, and like you're constantly unlocking like new recipes
Yep.
that you combine new food items with, and then like some of the food items are like, extremely rare, really hard to find, or you can't buy them from the shop, and like one of the trophies was like there's this guy named Murray. You probably run into him already, and you can ding a bell at any
Oh,
stage he
yep. Yeah.
comes, and he brings his restaurant to you. And I think you have to like find every single recipe in the game and eat it each one 3 times, and there's like hundreds of them, which is nuts. But yeah, it's like it's so cool. I like it that it has like a crazy level up system like that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I know. Was it? There's some kind of seed I plant, and like every time I plant it, like two more seeds will pop out, and I'm like, like I could spend the next 5 minutes just doing this cycle and like leveling up and getting
Yeah.
experience, and I'm like just please, like I love getting experience, but please don't pop any more seeds. I don't
Yeah,
I
you could just
don't
like
need.
start farming, like growing crops in the middle of like after a battle and just like start growing food for like a recipe. It's so weird. And then like one of the seeds grows lambs, which is really crazy.
God,
Um, like live lamb stock comes out of it.
nice.
Um, but yeah, so I've been having fun with that.
I need to get
Another
at some
what
point.
what's that?
I need to get back to that at some point. I haven't. I forget why I stopped playing it. But it's really fun. I love the combat. It's so much fun. My only disappointment is like the battle stages are only like 5 enemies at a time sometimes, and it feels underwhelming because like I
Yeah,
would love to see like a combination of flying enemies or enemies on the ground like shooting projectiles at you, and you kind of have to like dodge them or take out like a specific enemy first, and kind of strategize. I mean, the boss fights are fantastic, and the few I've played, I love them. I think they're so much fun.
it definitely gets to that point. I'm not sure exactly how far you are, but there is
I
I'd
think
say
I've
like
done like I think I'm on chapter 3 now of I forget the main girl's name. The
yeah.
first girl, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you unlock like 5 characters throughout,
Oh,
and
that's what
it's
I've heard. I remember watching a review and like there was them saying, there's different characters. It's like you're playing the same thing over again, but with
Mhm.
different characters and new skills and everything. So it seems like it keeps it fresh.
Yeah, so yeah, there's like 6 chapters for each character, and then once you finish that, then there's like a special chapter in the end where you get to like pick and choose which character you want to use for particular boss battles and stuff, which is really cool.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely it'll pick up to where you're fighting enemies in the air and on the ground at the same time. You gotta like dodge and move around, but
Yeah, because I love using on the Vita. I assigned a certain skill. I think it's like hold left and then hit circle, and she like my character does like a backflip and then like lunges forward and like pierces through all the enemies with her spear, and like it's so cool. It's like 20 hit combo, and it's like holy, that's awesome.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been playing Inside, but I think I'm gonna save that for the end, just in case we might do something special at the end. All I can say is go play that. Like I really don't want to say
Yeah,
too much
yeah.
about that game because
Check out the review on the site now.
yeah,
I still haven't downloaded it yet, but it sounds fantastic. I liked Limbo. I think what I liked the most was just how vague it is. Like the ending is still kind of open ended and up for discussion. Like there really isn't one true answer as to like what the ending means. Its symbolism and everything. But it's still really great.
yeah. Only other thing I've been playing, like right when I got home, I downloaded the PlayStation Plus free games this month,
Oh, nice,
and
nice.
I
Oh, that's
played.
out already.
Yeah, yeah, and I played Fury for the first like 20 minutes, and I was so excited because like I was gonna buy that game anyway, so the fact that it was free like made me really happy. And that's the one thing I really like about PlayStation Plus is like their free games. They a lot of times they seem to be actually like new games that just came out that I haven't purchased yet that I would
Yeah.
have purchased anyway. So I was really excited about that. So I played like the first 20 minutes and beat the first couple bosses, but it's awesome. It's just like a boss rush mode where
Hmm.
like each boss has like 5 phases and it's just like a super fast like neon like ninja battle with these crazy bosses and you're like trying to break your way out of prison.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, it's
Cool.
really really fun. So definitely go check that out.
Huh, nice.
I think one of the best PlayStation Plus games they ever gave was Rocket League,
Oh
the
my
one
gosh.
that came
Yeah,
out for
for
free.
sure.
Like I probably would not have downloaded that if it weren't free. And then word of
Mhm.
mouth from the people on our site, like like this game's so awesome, go play it. And then everybody was hooked for like 3 months with that game. It was a huge success, and stuff like that's awesome. And there are a couple other games where like it might have been like a game, for example, Murder Muscle Rebirth, which is just like Golden Sphere with its combat, was free on Vita at some point. I was like, oh, it looks cool. I played Dragon's Crown. I thought it was okay. I'm interested enough that I'll download it and check it out. And in the couple hours I played with it, I thought it was really fun. And otherwise, I probably would not have purchased it. So I'm glad some of those games are free sometimes. And then some of the smaller indies, I'll just download it just to see, and like if I if I'm not really bored, but I want to try something new, I'll check out one of these smaller games that I that's just free for the month.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my least favorite thing is when they give you like a game from 3 years ago that was
Oh
like a
yeah.
triple A game because it's like, oh man, I bought that like 3 years ago when it came out. Now it's like a $10 game or something. Like I'd rather just get something new, like a smaller indie or something that I haven't played yet.
Cody, the stream for me is not buffering. I don't have the audio up, but um, it looks okay to me. Anyways, Thomas, what have you been playing?
Well, Overwatch Competitive came out about a week ago,
Oh my
and I've
god.
been
Yes.
I've been pretty into that for the moment. So I'm only ranked 51 at the like right now,
Yeah, I think I'm
and
51 or 52.
yeah, and I've been like hovering in between that for a while. So I honestly I was very hopeful going into it. I was thinking, you know what, maybe this is this finally the competitive game that we can get, a good community and, people that won't flame and people that have like just won't have salt all over them, and no.
Yep.
It's just as bad as every other competitive game out there.
Yeah, it's I played a ton of it when it initially came out. I'll be playing more of it tonight with my group, but it's kind of hit or miss. The one thing that I don't like about it is well, I mean, it makes sense that people on your team or on the other team can drop out, and it makes sense that nobody else can join in because you don't want to be dropped into a competitive match,
Yeah.
that losing. You want it to, come in blank slate. But it's frustrating when, I had a match with a friend. We were dominating, and everybody left except one guy, and like, there's no mercy.
No
Like
pun
that,
intended.
it's totally unintended. Like, it's not fair that there's six of us and just one of him, and he's gonna get penalized for leaving. When
They all get penalized.
Yeah, I mean, but like all of his teammates have banned him, so it's just him against 6 other people, and you feel bad for the person. So like, why can't there be a like a mercy rule or something? Like they're obviously not going to win it, so why put up that fight? And have you noticed if the ranking is based on wins and losses as a placement matches?
I believe the ranking in the placement matches, yeah, it's based on wins, losses, and then as the more games you like, from what I've seen, like when I first got ranked, I got ranked 51, and then I won a game right after that. I got immediately vaulted to like halfway through 52, and now I'm back to 51 again, and I just won a game and I went halfway up 51.
Yeah, same thing happened to me. I started off at 50, and I think I'm 52 now, but like I lost a game and I was like 51 and 3/4. And then I won a game, and I went up to like 52 1/4 or something, whatever I was before. And then I lost again, and like it keeps me in that same like spot between the 51 3/4 and like the 52 1/4, whatever it may be. It's good. I think I know I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I know Cody has. Because like it's frustrating when you play quick play match, and you're facing 6 Torbjorns or a ridiculous like today I played a quick match with some friends, and I think there were 4 Symmetras. It's like it's not gonna happen in competitive mode. Like it's frustrating because the second you go in, 6 Symmetra turrets are right there, and you're dead, and you're slowed to a crawl, and it's like, come on.
So they actually allow that in competitive?
I don't know yet.
They allow it. I believe they allow it.
That's a bummer.
I'd love to see like a 2-hero at the most type of thing. Because like the weekly brawl right now is support only, and it's hectic. It's really fun and like crazy because like you're like, oh, we got the advantage, and then their mercy will come in and revive the whole team. It's like, dang it, we were so close. But like even like that's a casual game mode. Just kind of mess around. You can only have 2 of the same hero at the most. Like, why can't that be in competitive play? Because I would hate. I mean, I'm a Torbjorn player. I'm going to defend him until the end of time because he's one of my favorite heroes, despite frustrations. Like it would be so frustrating to see my team with 3 or 4 Torbjorns, or to play against 3 or 4 Torbjorns, because it just doesn't make it fun. And the competitiveness is gone. Like it doesn't make any sense. But outside of that, I mean, I've definitely been enjoying it. We're trying to get, I think 2 of my friends are like close to 25, not quite there yet. So once they're ready, we'll have a full 6-man team, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can never quite get away from the trolls, no matter what competitive game you play. But other than Overwatch, I started a new XCOM 2 campaign because the new DLC came out.
Consoles.
Oh, nice.
I'm so excited for that to come to consoles.
Yeah, I believe it comes. Is it really that soon? I thought it was closer to the beginning of 2017.
Let me double check that. I know it's coming at some point, and because I put like 20 hours into the first one on PS3. It was like $15, and I thought it was fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I bought the 2 expansions on the Steam sale, so I've been playing a lot of that lately.
Oh,
and other than that, just a lot of Final Fantasy 14 here and there.
Best. Let's see. So, XCOM.com says, my date of birth. Come on. I'll put in a random date. I don't want a trailer or anything, but let's do this day. Okay. Come on, XCOM.
Put in D-Day.
Oh, God. Please, no. I just want to see if there's a available now. Like, when is it coming to consoles, though? News. Nothing. I'm just going to go back and see if I can find it. Anyways, yeah. Final Fantasy 14 is fantastic. I'm not going to go too much onto it. That's what I've been playing for the most part. What server are you on, by the way? I think you're on...
I'm on Adamantoise.
Okay. I think I made a character on there, and like coincidentally, I just haven't touched it yet. Like if I only played Final Fantasy 14, then I would probably play that character a lot more. XCOM 2 console is coming in September, it seems. Anyways, yeah, I've been playing more Final Fantasy 14, and if it was all I played, I'd consider playing that character in Adam X with more. It's, I just got my lower body armor, which is like, high end gear, chest, and now I'm grinding for my animal weapon. I just got to step 3, and that's the long grind. So that's gonna take a while. I'm in the process of I'm like so close. I think probably the next day or two I'll finish up my sylphs, be done with them, and then I have to do my Madra. But outside of that, my favorite Final Fantasy.
There's so many people out there who think you're just spouting gibberish, and I know you're not. Yeah, I'm about halfway, almost halfway. I'm going to be a few days away from like the halfway point of step 3 of my animal weapon.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, I've almost got 40 of the unidentifiables that I need. And
because there's like a Reddit page I saved on my on the Reddit app, and like when I was on step 2, I kept looking at it. I was like, what the hell does all this information mean? And then I like read into it more, and like as like some friends explain it, basically how it works for the uninitiated is you need 20 tokens, or like these 20 items from 20, I guess, of these 4 different items, which you trade, which are traded for these 4 items, which upgrades this weapon that you're crafting through this quest line. It's a lot of grinding. And it's more, like you said, I think at some point in the chat, it's more of a status symbol than anything.
Yeah, it's not even best in slot weapon, unfortunately. There's still a weapon above it.
Yeah, like the weapon I have now is item level 230, and the weapon I'm making now is only going to be 210. So I'm not even done upgrading it still. So it's still going to be so cool. It's like having a legendary weapon.
The 210 weapon that we're making right now upgrades 2 more times after that. And the first step isn't too bad, it doesn't take too long, but the next step after that is, from what I understand, just as long a grind.
Oh, can't wait for it. Gonna devote my time mostly to that. I got my lower armor today, and I've kind of got my week planned out for what I'm gonna do for this week. But anyways, enough of Final Fantasy. I know I'm boring the heck out of people here. I've been playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE on the Wii U, which is basically Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire Emblem, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I just got done chapter 1. It's like the intermission, which is where you can do side quests and kind of mess around, and then I guess you go to a certain spot and initiate this story sequence, and then what begins chapter 2. Or I think Kyle's way ahead, but the combat is really fun. Basically, how it works in Persona, if you expose an enemy's weakness, it kind of knocks them on their tail, and you can attack them again because you expose a weakness. With this one, it's not quite that. It's if you attack an enemy with a weakness, it activates what's called a session, which is where an ally will attack that same enemy because you expose a weakness. So, say for example, this enemy has a weakness to sword attacks. I'll use a sword attack, and then my ally has a passive skill where if an enemy's weakness is exposed through a sword, it'll chain off of that. So basically, you chain off of each other, and you can do some really good damage. And then you have these special attacks, which is a cheap way to expose the enemy's weakness if you're not sure what they're weak to yet, because it doesn't show it yet. It's very Japanese. Probably one of the more Japanese RPGs I've played in a while. But it's still a lot of fun. I'm liking the combat a great deal. Not playing it as much as I hoped because, of course, I think old Final Fantasy XIV exists. But what I have played, it's really good so far. I know Kyle is really into it. He's like a million hours into it by now. He's always gushing about it, and it's really fun.
I've seen a lot of people play it and talk about it, and they say it's so a lot like Persona, and they say it's a good it's a good it's something good to keep you busy until the next Persona game comes out. And I've seen a lot of people play it, but the problem is I don't have a Wii U, and
Right.
I really want to play it, but so I've just been feeding my
Yeah,
need through YouTube videos.
I wouldn't buy OU just for it. But I've been anticipating this game for a long time since they announced like, oh, we're doing a crossover of Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem, and it's like, oh, baby, awesome, sounds cool. And then like it's really not that much of a crossover. Like um, Crom from Fire Emblem Awakening is in it, and a couple other characters throughout the Fire Emblem universe and the games are in it. They're some supporting characters, and then like how you level up is pretty similar. Like
Oh,
it makes like that Fire Emblem noise when you level up. It's like da 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 da.
oh, I didn't know it was an actual crossover. I just thought they were referring to like just gameplay elements crossover. I didn't think they were like actual characters from the game from Fire Emblem in it.
Yeah, so like the Fire Emblem characters, they're called mirages, which are like like these spirits that are in this
Yeah.
world. I've yet to learn why they're in this world and what their purpose is, but they're in the world for whatever reason. Um, and they team up with the main characters, and um, they're really not so far. They're not really fleshed out much beyond that. I'm kind of hoping they are, but we'll see. I'm still only on like chapter one, so I'm still really early on. But the combat is really fun, and if you have a Wii U and you like either Shin Megami Tensei or Fire Emblem, I personally definitely recommend it. Um, it seems like it's pretty lengthy, so
Yeah.
it'll hold you over for a while if you're just looking forward to Final Fantasy 15 or Persona 5.
Yeah, I love Persona. I played the crap out of Persona 3 and 4. So like I've been really looking forward to Persona 5. So when people said that, this was so much like Persona, I really wanted to take a
Yeah,
look at it.
I'm not the biggest Persona 3 fan, but to be fair, I went from Persona 4, which is one of my favorite games ever,
To Persona 3.
to Persona 3, which is not the best thing to do because
Yeah,
it
Persona 4 is
seems
definitely stronger.
yeah, it seems like in terms of like the social aspects, because like it seems like you can regress in Persona 3, with your relationships and all these other things. The combat isn't as not fleshed out, but I think the combat is worse in Persona 3, and it seems like they fixed a lot of the stuff in Persona 4. So going from 4, which has is better in those regards, to 3, it's like it's a weird adjustment, and I just couldn't get into it. But I'm
Yeah,
definitely looking forward to 5.
4 is just like everything a JRPG can do, like does right,
Yeah,
is in Persona 4. Persona 4 is just like a fantastic Persona, like just a fantastic JRPG.
yeah,
And then when you go to like, that's why I've been so looking forward to Persona 5, because Persona 5 like they immediately got me when they showed like that whole they showed like the awesome characters and how like they were gonna be sneaking around mansion. They were gonna be there's like this overarching thief kind of like burglary
yeah.
theme to it, and it looks like visually it looks amazing,
Oh
and
my
I'm
god,
so excited to be
it's
able to,
really
yeah,
cool.
it's like super stylized, and I like I just really love that art
I got
style.
like a Death Note vibe from it.
Yeah.
Like the
I
protagonist,
kind
like
of,
he knows he's like, he's up to no good, and he just, has like this smug look, and it's like you know something, but you won't say it.
yeah. We haven't gotten a huge peek into like the game the battle system yet for Persona 5. At least I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, I know
We've
there
seen
was
some.
some videos of like 10 or 12 minutes of combat. You can find it on YouTube. I think like GameSpot or Polygon might have it. There's like a video of like some off-screen
Oh
combat.
yeah,
So
yeah. I'm probably gonna check that out at some point
yeah,
because
definitely. Anyways, enough about JRPGs and the like. Let's move on to the news storm.
Boom.
And we're going to start off with something that is so exciting. I know Jason and I are excited. Thomas, I'm gonna assume you're excited too. We'll find out. There's going to be a Bioshock collection.
Yes.
yes, I am excited
All
for
right, perfect. All excited.
that. I mean, who wouldn't be excited for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you. You're not excited about Bioshock.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
uh,
Bioshock's like one of those games where That was like one of the first games I played where it was like, man, games are changing like as a medium, like the stories they can tell and like how a story can
That
progress
plot
through a
twist.
game.
Ooh, that plot twist at the end of Bioshock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bioshock was like one of the first, I believe, one of the first games for the new console generation, like the 360 and the PS3.
Yeah, I think it was pretty early.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think it was
and
a Xbox 360 exclusive for a year too, wasn't it?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And
mhm.
I know like it was more expensive on PS3 for whatever reason. But it's awesome. Sorry, just checking through it at the moment. So yeah, this collection they had a trailer. I think it was on 2K Games site. I am having trouble speaking today. Maybe I'm talking too fast. I don't know. I'm excited. So yeah, on their site, and this has been like long speculated, like leaks and like listings and all that stuff of a Bioshock collection. I think it was just a matter of time before we got any information on it. So there was a trailer and everything. It's like it shows like the Andrew Ryan's speech is like, as a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow, and like they're going into Rapture, and like it shows every Bioshock game, um, you know all that stuff. It's coming out in September, I believe. Let's
Pretty
see.
close.
Yeah, I saw a release date somewhere.
Do we
Where
know if it comes with the DLC?
I'm almost
Yes.
positive it does.
Yeah, it
Okay.
comes with all the DLC from all three games, I guess.
Yeah,
Nice.
I haven't played Minerva's Den or the Infinite DLC.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
that was like my favorite, no joke. My favorite game was the what was that called again? Burial at Sea. It
yeah,
was so good. Like I
I've
can't
heard
wait to
great
like I'll
things.
play through that again.
So
I
yeah,
loved it.
according to 2K, all three games will run at 1080p and 60 FPS on PS4 and Xbox One. Weapons, plasmids, levels, and character models have been reskinned and retextured to match the standard for current gen consoles. Sadly, Bioshock 2 won't feature multiplayer, but I don't think anybody's that upset.
Yeah.
You're going to be playing Bioshock for its single player stuff. So yeah, all the single player DLC is coming. In addition to the collection, we're seeing a never before seen video series, director's commentary, imagining Bioshock, um, and it comes September 16th. So yeah, for me, Bioshock One is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
It's one of those like I view it in the same vein as Last of Us or Ocarina of Time, where it's one of those games. If possible, I would like to play once a year, and I will gladly do it just because like it's that good of a game for me. Um, I like Bioshock 2 a lot. It's different enough that you're not like, oh, it's the same thing. Like it's still enough on its own. And then Bioshock Infinite is also really good. So you're getting three really good games. And it seems like a lot of people prefer Bioshock 1 or Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was just something special about the setting of that game. I mean, I guess Infinite was pretty special too, but
Yeah,
um,
Columbia was pretty great. It was a pretty
Yeah,
great
yeah,
environment.
I think it was more the fact that it it seemed like even though that I think Infinite came out like 6 or 7 years later, it felt like it came out like 1 year later. Like it didn't feel like that huge of an improvement with like the combat and stuff. Like they
hmm
had a lot of promises with the whole like skyhook system and all that, but it never really went anywhere. It seemed pretty like flawed or like I don't know. It felt like the combat felt really old by the time it
yeah.
was done with Infinite.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the combat in Infinite.
Yeah.
I remember I got to like probably like three-fourths of it, and I think I was playing on hard or something, probably for like a trophy, and I kept dying, and like you lose money in that game when you die, so
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
couldn't buy like ammo and stuff. It was getting really frustrating, and there was like a certain enemy that would spawn other enemies, like she would like
Oh yeah.
sing, and it would like raise the dead, I guess if you want to say that.
Yeah.
And it was really annoying. So I beat Infinite, but like in the second playthrough on a harder difficulty, I couldn't quite beat it. Um, but yeah, I still prefer one.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna disagree with both of you on that on the combat system. I loved the combat system for Bioshock Infinite. I thought the skyhook system, while it wasn't like as free flowing as they initially like showed it off as, I thought like this the whole like skyhook system, being able to shoot from the skyhook and being able to like just jump across the map in a matter of a couple seconds was just so much fun. I was like a little bit disappointed on Elizabeth as like the sort of companion that was gonna like she didn't really do anything other than throw you a couple of ammo or caps every once in a while. But I think but just like the overall, you're right in saying like in the harder difficulties, once you die, it's really difficult to buy ammo. I think that's something that could use a little bit of improving. But the overall combat from the game, just like I'm drawing a blank with the plasmids.
Yeah.
Just like the different plasmid abilities and the different enemy types, I thought it was just like such great first person combat. I loved it so much.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed, using those plasmids and then, kind of complementing that with these weapons. Correct me if I'm wrong, but couldn't you upgrade them?
Yes.
Almost like a Ratchet and Clank type thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I platinumed 1 and Infinite because I
nice.
heard they were pretty difficult, and I think like part of getting the platinum was like you had to play it on the hardest difficulty, and I believe you couldn't upgrade. I can't remember if it was plasmids or your weapons, and then you couldn't buy anything from the vending machines. And then in the first game, you couldn't even die. Like, you couldn't be restored by a Vita chamber. So I remember, like, I was, like, sweating bullets, like, by the end. I was like...
Yeah, I looked at those achievements and I was like, nope, not doing that.
I remember, like, when you first encounter a Big Daddy and, like, you have, like, 3 shotgun shells and, like, an electric shell. It's like, how the hell am I going to win this fight? But, like, like the first time, like it's okay to die, a couple times and like slowly wear him down, bring his health down bit by bit, and then you kill him, and it's like yes, like that huge machine's just laying there, and like it's like oh my god, that's such a gratifying feeling.
Like for me, Bioshock was the first one that just it felt like it was a next generation game.
Yeah.
At least for the 360 and the PS3.
Would you kindly explain why?
Well, well, because there were a couple titles on the 360. Halo, like my experience was with the 360. I didn't have any experience with the PlayStation 3 when it came out. But like when you compare it to something like Halo, which Halo 3 had some really good, like Halo 3 was a fantastic game. No one's going to dispute that.
Yeah.
But it didn't really do anything super innovative to the series. But like when you look at something like Bioshock that was a completely new IP, it was just like able to open up so many different things that it could do. Like you said, like the first encounter with the Big Daddy was just so it was just like it was so unique in the sense that nobody had to. Yeah, it was terrifying, but nobody had ever done, fights like these before, and nobody had ever made environments like these before, and it just felt so different, and it was like so refreshing.
I just love the environment, like Rapture. It's like like it's like this utopia, and everything's gonna be great. I think it's like it takes place around New Year's Eve or New Year's Day from the like the audio recordings I remember, and then it all goes to crap. And it's like, what the hell happened? These splicers, they're infected with I think it's Adam is like the chemical, whatever it is, like gives you powers in Bioshock 1. And they start to lose their minds and everything just, goes to crap. And it's like, it's just, it's awesome. The environment, storytelling and everything. I'm ashamed to admit that for whatever reason, I didn't play it with the sound on and I didn't play with the subtitles on. So I played it for the first time, and I was like, like it's okay. And I was like, wait, like why did I just play without any it was very low, so it was tough to hear. I don't know why I did this, honestly. But I played through it again with subtitles on, and the sound at a reasonable level that I could hear it. And I was like, holy crap, this game's exceptional. And since then, it has become one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm so excited to get my hands on this collection.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to some PS4 Neo news. So this is a GameSpot. It's about a week old, but it's oh well. So the headline reads: a more powerful PS4 Neo, or the more powerful PS4 Neo, and a slim model are coming sooner than you think, an analyst says. So on GameSpot, the story reads, according to a noted analyst, Sony could launch its more powerful PS4 Neo along with a slimmed-down PS4 before or during Tokyo Game Show in September. Macquarie Securities analyst Damien Thong shared that information with the Wall Street Journal and writer Takashi Mochizuki today. This was about a week ago. So then he shared that information. Sony declined to comment to the Wall Street Journal on the new systems and when they might launch. Continues, this comes not long after a report claimed Sony would release Neo before the end of the year. And Sony has confirmed the existence of the Neo, which is only its code name right now. So what do you guys think about both, number one, the Neo and possibly Slim version coming sooner than you think, and two, it coming possibly by the end of the year?
I think it's certainly a bold claim. Like being able to, I believe. Did you say it could be released like during September before Tokyo Game Show?
I think that's what the analyst said.
Yeah, that's September is 2 months from now, and this thing wasn't even shown at E3.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to believe that it would be released in 2 months without us hearing anything about it beforehand.
Yeah, outside of them confirming that it's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't expect like an official announcement like Microsoft had with their Scorpio and everything. Like I don't expect something like that. Because if anything, maybe they would use Tokyo Game Show as the platform to announce it there. I mean, show it off and maybe give us a release date.
That would probably be the best bet, is for them to show it off there. But
yeah,
I mean, like you guys are saying, you got to kind of build hype for the system. Like you can't just be like, it's out today. Like they could do that with the slim version, kind of like what Microsoft did, because it's like, all right, cool, the slim version's out.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna put a brand new, more powerful PS4 out there, like they are with Xbox One, you gotta give us some leeway and say hey, it's coming, and give us some specs and details and get us hyped.
Yeah, there's in my mind, there's no possible way anything will ever come out, any system hardware or game, AAA game that will ever come out, that they will come up on stage and be like, it's out today. It's not feasible because
the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to bring that up. The Sega Saturn, I believe it was the Sega Saturn that they did that with, and their sales tanked because of it.
They were wait, we thought we had months to develop these games.
Yeah. Their line of thinking was
mistakes. I don't anticipate that would be the case.
Yeah, because it's there's so much money to be made on pre-orders.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just no way.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it at some point this year. At retailers and everything. It would just be a matter of when would they give us the information, because you wouldn't want to do a stealth release on this new system. You want to get people excited, and you want to give context as to what this system is, and you want to get people on board before it's just a kind of a blank release with no information prior.
I mean, just thinking about what they did with Fallout 4, and that was they announced it, I believe 4 or 5 months before it came out.
Yeah.
And people were like, "What?
Yeah.
It's that soon?" And that was a 5-month period.
Yeah.
And it's there's just, I can't even imagine them doing something with that with a console.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're definitely getting closer to that though, because I mean, the PS4 was announced in February, and then launched in November or something like that when it first came out. And then Microsoft was even shorter than that. I think they came out in March or April or something, right before E3, and then showed off a little bit more at E3, and then that launched in November as well. So they're definitely getting closer to that. But yeah, you definitely need a good 4 or 5 months there to get people hyped, I think, at least.
So speaking of consoles, this is another console-related story. from GameSpot. Nintendo didn't show NX at E3 because it was worried about copycats, says Miyamoto. So the story reads, Shigeru Miyamoto has explained why Nintendo did not show its next gaming platform, the NX, at E3, and passed up the opportunity to make a high-profile, unveiling ahead of the hardware's launch next March. So Nintendo recently held a shareholder meeting in Japan, which was attended and live blogged by Twitter user nstyle and translated by Cheesemeister. I know, silly name, but believe it or not, they actually are pretty reliable. I've seen Cheesemeister before associated with a lot of this stuff, so I trust that person. And during this meeting, Miyamoto said the NX wasn't at E3 because Nintendo was worried about copycats. Nintendo, I don't know what they mean by that exactly, but
Well, I mean that's kind of exciting and scary at the same time because I mean what that tells me at least is that it's like the Wii or the Wii U. Like there's some big feature that's new that they're trying to hide that they don't want people to copy.
right,
And that could be something crazy like the Wii where it was like motion controls, or it could be
yeah,
something terrible like the Wii U where it's like here's a big tablet controller. You just don't know. But they're
yeah,
definitely they must be hiding something.
I
yeah.
I believe there's been speculation that it even might be cartridge based.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation about that. At first, I was like, but again, I know very little about how much cartridges have improved since the '90s. Um,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it seems like it's a lot more viable nowadays than it was in the '90s when it was compared to the CD.
I think when people hear cartridge, they automatically think like Super Nintendo or like N64 style
Yeah, there's like
cartridges.
a negative connotation to it.
Yeah, and
It
it's
was
more
made
likely probably going to be like SD cards, with like high memory capacity and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that would be cool. I'll trust Nintendo on it if it's a Blu-ray disc or a cartridge, because both platforms have grown tremendously in terms of their storage and their capabilities. So whatever happens, happens. There's a little bit more to the story. There's a quote from Miyamoto. It reads, "In terms of NX, there's an idea that we're working on." He said through a translator, excuse me. That's why we can't share anything at this point, and I don't want to comment on the other companies. If it was just a matter of following advancements in technology, things would be coming a lot quicker. And during the meeting, Miyamoto said he used various VR devices during E3 and confirmed that Nintendo has the core technology for VR.
Hmm.
He did not reflect positively on his VR experiences at the event, however, noting long play sessions are an issue. And again, the NX is coming in March of next year. So I'm curious to see if how much they're gonna not invest, but how much they're gonna research VR and see if it is a platform that they want to um, choose. It's massive with PSVR, Vive, and Oculus. I'd be okay with them releasing the NX. Do all that stuff first, and then being okay. Like this machine can handle VR, so
Hmm.
why not? Whether it is the Oculus or Vive or something, why not add that onto the system later on? And it's another thing that makes our system viable.
I mean, ultimately asking anyone to get inside the head of Nintendo nowadays is an impossible task.
Yeah, I would love to be able to fly on a wall during one of these meetings.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, now that I think about it too, though, like going back to the cartridge stuff, um, I could totally see because like the other rumor was that they might have a portable system where you could like take it on the go, but it'd be like a high-powered machine where you could
yeah,
play
like
like console games.
a can oh, excuse me, console handheld hybrid.
Yeah, and if this cartridge thing is real, that would totally make sense because if they were like SD cards, like they are with the 3DS, pretty much, you could take your games on the go, which
Yeah,
makes sense to me. And maybe that's what they're hiding. I mean, who knows? But that'd be pretty cool.
yeah, definitely. Um, So the next story, another Nintendo related one, is that Zelda Breath of the Wild needs to sell 2 million to become profitable. Just to quickly say, I think it's very likely it'll sell 2 million copies.
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah, I think they can make that easy.
One of the biggest gaming franchises of all time. I think it'll sell pretty well.
Yeah, I think even though the Wii U's at like 10 million units, I know they've had a couple games already hit like what 3, 4 million
Yeah,
just on the Wii U.
Smash, Mario Kart,
Yeah,
Mario Maker's probably up there. Splatoon, I think, is sold at least 1 million. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at like 1.5 or 2 by now.
yeah, yeah.
So
Not only that, but I heard that they put like a lot of investments into the latest Zelda because they wanted to use that for other like upcoming open world games. So
mhm.
they're definitely like getting their money out of it that way as well because now they have like experiments with physics and all that stuff that they can use in like future projects.
Yeah,
So
and
Yeah.
definitely get their
they
money
also
out of it.
brought aboard members from Monolith Soft who
Yeah,
done the Xenoblade, the Xeno series, and those are massive open worlds. So you can see. I'm sure this game would have been open world to this extent, regardless. But having a team with experience, or having members from that team, with Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X on the team certainly helps. It helps realize how to construct an open world that feels fresh, but also like keeps the player interested instead of just like one big open space with nothing to do. But the story reads from GameSpot: The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild needs to sell 2 million units in order to become profitable, according to Nintendo. The figure was revealed during the same shareholder meeting, which we just discussed. Translating everything. Breath of the Wild, of course, is set to launch for Wii U and NX next year. Um, let's see. They say it's unclear whether the 2 million figure represents the combined sales of both the Wii U and NX. Digital sales is just, I guess, just 2 million in general. We're not sure on the exact details. Um, and so, interesting note, it says, during the meeting, Miyamoto also said that over the course of Breath of the Wild's 5-year development, 300 people have worked on it. And it currently has 100 staff members on it. And, yeah, it's, again, like we just stated, wouldn't be surprised if it sells 2 million. It's The Legend of Zelda. It's going to sell. Whether it's on NX and Wii, like it'll be profitable. I'm not worried about that at all.
yeah.
Let's see how we are on time here. About 55 minutes. We can get another story or two in here, and then we'll just you can talk about your inside experience. So one of the coolest things that dropped today is that Red Dead Redemption is coming to Xbox One via backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
This week. I'm so excited about this. Let's see. So this was. Well, the story reads: Rockstar's acclaimed 2010 Western Red Dead Redemption is coming to Xbox One this Friday, July 8th, through the Xbox backwards compatibility program. Rockstar announced today. No matter which version you own, Standard, Undead Nightmare, or Game of the Year Edition, you'll be able to play it on Xbox One. And conveniently, it's also on sale this week for Xbox 360 for $7.50 for gold members, and then it's $10.50 for other members. If you don't own it, buy it now. It's also really cheap. Really cheap.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah, Red Dead is awesome. It's one of those games I don't typically play a game twice. Just because I've already experienced everything, and I'd rather play something new. But I wouldn't be against playing it again because that game is so good.
Yeah, that's another one where we're just talking about Bioshock being one of our favorite games. Like this as well. I know both of those games are probably in my top five.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, just loved it. Like that was another one too, where like story was being pushed in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like way farther than it's ever been before, and I
Yeah,
would certainly play that again too.
I think Red Dead was probably the first time that I not that I didn't respect Rockstar before.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I really grew to appreciate them because, like, I've played GTA 3 and Vice City is still my favorite GTA, but like they were always just silly and they weren't really meant to be taken seriously. But at the same time, I also played them at a very young age, so maybe I didn't quite comprehend them the way I would today. But I feel like Red Dead really it was mature and you got to see them really advance in terms of storytelling and character development and everything.
Oh yeah.
Um, Definitely a fan of that, and we've seen it with GTA 5 now and everything. It's definitely a nice treat, at least for me. Again, I definitely grew to appreciate them more with the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the greatest story Rockstar's ever told.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
And our last story before we talk about Inside here is the PlayStation Plus games for July. So, the games are available as of now. PS4 owners are getting Fury and
Yeah.
Saints Row Gat Out of Hell. And then Fat Princess. Oh my god, I cannot wait to download Fat Princess. Is so good.
So good.
Fat Princess and Call of Juarez Bound in Blood will be free on PS3. And then Vita owners will get Orishika, Tainted Bloodlines, and Prince of Persia Revelation. And then as an extra bonus, the Paragon Starter Pack will be free in July. I know John is a huge Paragon fan. I think Michael and Kevin are downloading that soon. It's definitely worth checking out if you're interested. Personally, I'm not much of a fan of it. I think it's too slow for me. It's just weird. But if you are definitely are interested, give it a chance. It might be your thing. So it can't hurt to try, and it's free. So
Was Call of Juarez was Bound in Blood? Was that the Call of Juarez that was still in the past, or was that the one that went to the future?
I have
The modern
no
times.
idea. I've never played a Call of Juarez game. Let's find out though.
Okay, because if it's the one that was still in there was Call of Juarez. I think now that I think about it, I think Bound in Blood was the second one, which was the good one. The third Call of Juarez was not good. Don't ever play that one. But the second one was the second one that was still in I believe in the 1800s was still a good game.
Okay, yeah, I've never played Call of Juarez, but I will take your word on that. 1 second. Okay. Anyways, what do you say we end with Jason talking about Inside? I guess, Thomas, if you have any questions for Jason about Inside, feel free to ask. One that comes to mind for me is how is it fair to compare it to Limbo? Like, you take them side by side. What do you like more about Inside? What don't you like about Inside compared to Limbo?
Yeah, so it's definitely fair to compare the two. They're both puzzle platformers. I would say Limbo is more a puzzle platformer than Inside is because it like kind of corely focuses on puzzles.
Yeah.
Um, and it has like very like vague story pieces that never really come together. They're both very much like that, but I would say that Inside I enjoyed a little bit more just because it's got a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, like the story starts to come together. It never like fully comes together, but there's enough there that you can like paint your own picture.
It makes more
Where
sense.
yeah, where you couldn't
Okay.
really do that with Limbo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Limbo, like again, like it was very open ended. Like it's the ending, like you can go on message boards and it's still like up for debate, like what the ending really means.
right.
With Inside, I'm assuming there's more of a concrete and a clearer
Um,
take on.
I mean,
I
it's
don't,
still
yeah, without
very.
spoiling it.
I'm not spoiling anything. I mean, it's still pretty vague game, but like it gives you enough of imagination. It gives you enough where like with your imagination you could come up with something that would make sense. Like Jake and I both we PM'd each other afterwards. I'm not going to say like what we talked about, but we both kind of came to the same conclusion, which tells you like yeah, you can paint a better picture with that game than you can with
Right,
Limbo. So,
right.
yeah.
Did you
Um,
cry?
Can you cry?
No, did you
Um,
cry?
Did I cry? I thought you meant like, could you make the kid cry? um, oh man, there was definitely some moments that made me feel sadness in a way I've never felt before. There's a puzzle halfway through, and I won't say why, but it was like when you get to the number puzzle. That's all I'll say. When you get to the number puzzle, I was like, wow, I've just it was just different. I've never seen something like that in a
Yeah.
game. I've never felt something like that in a game. It was a very special moment.
Hmm.
All right.
Is
Sounds
it
good.
where does it place in your game of the year contender and all that stuff?
I would say,
Like, is it one of your like more favorite games of the year? Anything?
yeah, it's probably it's towards the top. It's definitely not number one. It's definitely not number two. It might not even be number three. But I mean, it's up there. I don't think there's a lot of reviewers that gave it like a perfect 10, and I don't think it's a perfect 10. I think there's like some issues with it that I still have, but
Mhm.
it's definitely like it's a fantastic game. Like it's still like a must play in my book.
Nice.
And it's
Sounds
probably
good.
one of my favorite games on the Xbox One. There hasn't been many experiences that I've really enjoyed on the Xbox One yet, but this is definitely way up there.
Awesome. I gotta download it at some point. I still have Gone Home to play, and I'm like, I have a free day. I'll play some Gone Home. I'm still playing Final Fantasy. I'm like, dang it! I could have used that time to play Gone Home.
You could have beat Gone Home, and you can beat Gone Home in 2 hours.
Yeah. I know that, but I'm like it's just a matter of like booting it up, and I just always forget. I'm like, wait, there are a couple of games like shorter games that I want to check out. Inside is now one of them, but I'm always still playing like the JRPGs on my backlog. But anyways, that is going to wrap up episode 69 of the Game Bowl Podcast. Again, which is the official podcast of thegamebowl.com. If you have any topics for us to discuss, feel free to tweet them at our account at _Gamebowls. It's going to post to iTunes tomorrow and YouTube either tomorrow or Thursday. Some of the recent stuff on the site includes Jason's Inside Review. Let's see what else has been on the site recently. Let's see. We have Jason's Inside Review. We have our Michael's Tech Remaster Review. Alex put up a piece on Halo Wars 2. More features, and we have stuff going up every day or every other day. So, check out the site for all that stuff. You can also find all of us here on social media, and again, our account is the_Gamebolts. Jason, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at J_Smash1.
And Thomas, you're on Twitter. I don't know if you are, but
I am on Twitter. I haven't used it in a while.
There you go.
But
any kind of social media platform you want to plug that you actively use or anything, just go ahead.
you know what? You can follow me on Twitter at Tom Blaster. TOM Blaster.
There you
That's
go.
a cool name.
Yeah. Nick.com gave it to me when I was 9 years old.
You say Nick.com?
Yeah.
That's
So I
awesome.
signed up for Nick.com, and it was a recommended name, and I've
Wow.
used it ever
That is
since.
so cool.
That's awesome.
I whenever I sign up for like a Google account and it's like recommended names, it's like Brett_Woodmansey1. It's like my name is so uncommon. How are there any recommendations? Like my last name is very uncommon. But I am at Brett Woodmansey, WOODMANSEE. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, take it easy.
See ya.
Bye.
Done recording.